Ashley, I've got a very particular idea for a cold open this week.
Okay.
And it will be short and sweet and directly to the point. However, it may even become a new intro in future episodes. I don't know. I'm whimsical. Let's see. Here we go. The original unofficial fan podcast for Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles and the Lives of the Mayfair Witches. Welcome to the Coven, you butterscotch bitches.
You butterscotch bitches. Oh, that's a bop.
We are your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. It is a fucking bop. Okay, I haven't, my reaction video for the lyrics and music on that one has not gone up yet, but I've got reactions to that and to Biggest Fan.
Love it.
Okay, y'all, I've even stopped watching teasers for the show. I am genuinely trying not to spoil myself or anyone else.
Yeah, we got to be careful.
I will say this. I think there is more music than even we thought there was. I think there is more music, y'all. I was worried if they'd maybe even give us a whole album worth. I am not worried anymore about a double album. I think it'll be more than that.
I will accept any and all of it, frankly. I love how varied the vibe is, too. It's very fun. I love the vibe of Butterscotch Bitch. It really lit me up.
2 years ago, they put out that first song, and then they went to Comic-Con, and they gave us this, 30-person long list of influences that they were going to draw from, and we went, ha, 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 isn't that cute? Y'all, they've done, genuinely, every song has been dramatically different so far.
Turns out it is cute.
Yeah, it is indeed cute. Let me tell you what else is cute. Your favorite little podcast, the original unofficial fan podcast for Anne Rice's Immortal Universe. We got media passes to one night only, motherfuckers!
You guys! When I got that, I was in a fucking meeting at work when I saw that email, and I was like, I about had a heart attack. And I was like, am I reading this right? And I messaged you because you were traveling. Me. I know. And yes. I messaged you because you were traveling. And I was like, okay, well, you're not going to see this as unread because I read it. So just so you know, this is in there and we got an invite and holy shit. And that was me in a meeting at a corporate office.
I saw your message summarized by AI on my phone, I guess, right? And it said, got pass, read email or something like that. And I was like,
fake.
Did Ashley get the pass? Maybe? I don't know. So I opened up the Articulate Coven email, and at first I didn't see it. And I had to triple check and double check. And finally I saw an email that I hadn't read before when I drilled down into the specific inbox. I've got 7 inboxes in my email, and they're all just sorted into one thing. So you're right, I never would have read it. I never would have read it at all. Anyway, I saw it, and I clicked through, and I'm reading it, and I read it again. And then we're literally I've got a backpack on me. I'm carrying my CPAP machine, whatever. We've just checked our bags. And I go, God. Kelly, Ashley's going to get to go to the media. Ashley's going to get to see the Vampire Lestat in person.
Yo.
And she was like, what? And she was scanning through. She's like, oh my God. Okay. And I said, don't worry. This is not a new trip for me. I cannot go. And it's fine. I cannot go. I know I can't go. She's like, okay, all right. But Ashley can go? You're sure she can go? And I'm like, yes. And we're trying to figure out now if we can get a +1 maybe. Anyway.
Yeah, this irresponsible bitch will definitely drop everything. Pay way too much. I paid for my plane ticket yesterday, y'all. It was almost as expensive as my flight to Hawaii. I was like, Jesus Christ. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. That's why I have an American Airlines credit card, but I'm flying Delta because the times were better.
Okay. A few people in our chat group who are international were sort of like, what is going on with the American airline system?
Oh my God, y'all.
Right?
It's
many.
a shit show.
The answers to that question are many. We're not going to talk about them until after Ashley's back. Okay. We're about to fly.
That's right, because we don't want to jinx anything.
We love the airline system here. It's smooth. It's
Uh-huh.
well funded and run in
And
all locations.
here's the other thing about little old Ashley is that I've been traveling alone to go to auditions and things since I was 18. And I go to cities I've never been to all the time. And I've never been to New York City. And this is the first time I'm kind of like, that's a really big place. If it was New Orleans, I'd be like, bet, I'm fine. But now I'm like, oh my God, what? It's so big. People are like, where are you staying? I'm like, I don't know, close to the Beacon, for Christ's sake.
I got to
I don't
tell
even
you,
know what.
I don't know that I would have been so encouraging immediately without any reservations of you going if I knew you'd never been to New York City before. New York,
Fuck it, I don't
although
care.
like one of the things about New York City is that it's a city that evolves so continuously and so completely that it doesn't, unless you live there, you don't really know how New York City is going to run when you go back
Right.
to visit. Then most of us on the rest of the parts of the country, we go once, twice, 5 times in a lifetime, maybe, or something, for a visit. I've been twice. I went once in high school. I went once with my wife about 6 years ago for 3 days.
I went through the city on a Greyhound bus when I was about 4 years old. That's all I got. But I'm very excited. Our buddy Jana, who listens to the podcast, is actually going to come down from Connecticut
Hell yeah.
and hang out with me. We're going to have a sleepover at the hotel. I'm super excited.
That is so exciting. Okay,
Yeah.
and so here's the other thing that we're going to do. Whenever Ashley gets, and it may literally be a pajama party, y'all.
Yeah.
My Judah and I will be ready for like a college orientation the next morning in Baton Rouge.
My
Ashley will be in a hotel in New York, but we're going to try to get online for patrons. This is patrons only. It will be available eventually on YouTube
Yeah,
and stuff. I can't tell you
absolutely.
how quickly though, but we're going to live stream for patrons that night. Judah and I will get on, try to shoot for like 30 or 40 minutes before Ashley's going to get home, we expect. And obviously, like, what will traffic be? Who knows? I don't know. How long will that take? Is there some sort of after show that we don't know about yet that she'll get to do?
Don't, like, are we going to get some interview time with anybody? Are we going to get, like, any press time? We have no idea. I got an email today confirming my ticket and that I'm a confirmed reservation for it, confirmed ticket, which means I should be good to go. I got instructions on where to pick them up because it's hard ticketed, so I'll pick up my tickets at the box office, and then they gave me a contact with a phone number in case I have any trouble.
And
which is crazy.
For everybody, that is so cool. For everybody that attends, not just the media, but you're going to get a screening of the first episode of the Vampire Lestat as well, which some folks are seeing as you and I are recording this tonight.
Right
I
now.
think, in Austin. Yeah.
I am really excited to watch that in a room full of absolutely insane people like me. Like, that's really going to be the most, like, I can only imagine the energy that's going to fill that theater. I'm so excited. This is an incredible opportunity for our little podcast, too. Like, this is the first time we've gotten a media invite. So it feels pretty exciting.
Here's what I've genuinely got my fingers crossed for, Ashley. I am hoping that some of the other creators stop you in line and like, oh my God, Ashley, we listen to your show. We watch your show, right? And also, I'm also hoping that Autumn Bottom Brown is there so that I can get a photo of you and her together because she's about 7.5 feet tall and wears heels regularly. And
yes, and I'm flats. I'm a short lady who wears flats because I don't give a fuck. And my feet hurt. This is the other thing I'm concerned about. Am I cool enough for this? Like,
are you cool enough? You're fucking like, Jessie. You are the great-great-granddaughter of Maharet, bitch. Like, you step into it.
I'm dipping back into my very bright red hair before I go, and I ordered some, slutty vampire gothy fan shit, and, I'm going to have my titties out probably a little bit. It'll be great. Someone asked me to sneak a camera in my cleavage, and then someone else pointed out that would be a very short kind of perspective. And I was like, yeah, here's all the action at one night only from my boobs at approximately 3.5 feet elevation.
We'd get everybody's shoes for sure.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about schedule because here's what we got coming up on this show.
You want to say, like, if you listen and you
please.
see me, please holler at me. I will be. I would love to say hey and give you a hug and a high five and freak out with you. So if you listen and you see me there, holler at your girl.
Hell yeah. All right. We begin our coverage of the Vampire Lestat on June 7th. All of these dates are for patrons, by the way. June 7th, and then we will wrap up season 1 of this show on July 19th.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a feedback episode about the series and the season on 26th of July. And then on the 2nd of August, we're going to do a tier listing episode where we rank every single episode of this series so far. The 2 seasons of Interview and the 1 season of The Vampire Lestat. And I cannot wait.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay. After that, here's what we're going to do. The regular releases of the Articulate Coven are going to sort of go away for a little while, at least a few weeks. I'm not sure exactly how long this is going to last. We haven't worked out the full schedule for what we're going to be doing over on our sister show, Flan Again. But starting August 9th, we're going to go Flan Again for a while. Flan hasn't in a while, and we want to resume that.
Also, though, Flan Again.
There's some great shit coming. Clayface is coming this fall from the DC universe. Carrie, his adaptation of Carrie is going to be coming out sometime in the fall.
Life of Chuck's been out for a year and a half, and we haven't talked about it.
And we still haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. We promised you guys that we were going to do Dr. Sleep. Ashley and I both want to do the Midnight Society, which is like the Christopher Pike adaptations, or the Midnight Club, excuse me. That means a lot to me. Honestly, I was a big Christopher Pike fan and haven't watched that show yet, specifically because I want to react to it first on Flan Again. Anyway,
I think it'd be really fun to do Hill House with my brother, like I did Usher with Brett. So you get a sibling
I am so down for that. Fuck yeah. Okay.
I think that could be a good time.
So those will go out new. They'll go out on Sunday for patrons. They'll go out Monday for YouTube and the podcast feeds. You'll need to subscribe to Flan Again to get those shows. If you're on the YouTube channel, they'll all be there. They'll be in a different podcast playlist. If you're a patron, you'll get them all there as well, although you can subscribe to the independent feeds as podcasts if you want to and listen to them. All of that to say, though, if you're like, yeah, but I don't like Mike Flanagan, I don't like that stuff. Okay, that's fine. We've got some more Articulate Coven for you, too, because Ashley and I have been covering Castle Rock, the show that was on Hulu, or still is available on Hulu through Disney Plus now. I think you've been watching on Netflix,
it's on
too,
Netflix, too. Yeah, if you have Netflix, it's there. You may watch 2 episodes and not realize you've done
it. Well, look, that show sort of has a bit about time dilation, doesn't it, Ashley? So that makes sense. But we've been covering that episode by episode in our patron-only segment, Articulate Coven Afterlife. We'll be releasing those for everybody on YouTube and on the podcast feeds of Articulate Coven. So even if you don't like Mike Flanagan stuff, you'll still get something new. If you do like Mike Flanagan stuff, you'll get a whole bunch of new stuff. Because, there you go.
If you haven't dabbled in Flanagan, may I highly recommend his stuff. He's such a good horror creator, and he does things with such nuance. We've already talked about Midnight Mass, which is which is a really great series. So give it a go if you haven't. And even if you don't love the scary, all of it's not scary. You know?
No. And
Joel doesn't love horror, but he likes this stuff.
Yeah, indeed. That's a perfect example. This is all thinky horror more than it is horrific horror.
Yeah, emotional layers, and it's all about relationships, and
there's even a little sexy time in there sometimes. So
sometimes
get
you
with
get
it, folks.
A little sexy time. Plus, his casts are always gorgeous. He has the most beautiful people cast in his shows.
Speaking of sexy time and beautiful people, Ashley, the topic for tonight, and goodness gracious, I didn't intend for our preamble to last quite so long.
15 minutes.
Because this episode, y'all, I'm sorry if it goes too long. We probably have much to say about this beautiful adaptation. We're talking about Pride and Prejudice from 1995, starring Colin Firth and our lovely Gabriella from The Vampire Lestat, Jennifer Ehle. That's why this has come up at this time. We're going to spend a lot of time with Jennifer Ehle over the next season, it seems like. So
seems
we wanted
a bit of a weird
ourselves.
Choice. We're like, let's shift from. Though they did do Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which was fun.
Okay, here's my thing. I kept finding parallels, Ashley. I kept finding parallels in the central romance of this series and the central romance of our show, Louis and Lestat in particular. And
Oh, I
honestly,
love.
I think it may be one of the reasons why they cast her, honestly, is this portrayal. It's very
Well,
interesting.
she's perfect in this. Like, this is Pride and Prejudice is in my top 3 favorite books. It's I read it probably once a year, once every 2 years maybe. And I own this series on DVD. I have a beautiful box set of it that Brett got me for Christmas one year. I have been obsessed with this. It's the first thing I ever saw Colin Firth in. I watched this when we were in college. Jessica Hester made me watch this, and I was like, "Holy God, where have I been? What have I been missing?" Colin Firth is absolute perfection as Mr. Darcy, and I love Jennifer Ehle in this role. She's so nuanced. It's so she's so great. Oh, her face is
The
beautiful.
the face acting between these two. I saw a clip recently, a reel when they were making Gods and Monsters. Ian McKellen was interviewed on like Charlie Rose or something, and he was referencing what he has left to accomplish in his career. And he said, "Oh, to become as great an actor as Brendan Fraser." And Charlie giggled and he says, "No, I mean that sincerely. What Brendan is able to do with his face in just a few frames of cinema is still beyond anything that I've been able to achieve on camera." And he's talking specifically about his training on the theater versus being on film. But
Yeah.
like these two, Jiminy Christmas, it's so good. It's so subtle, and yet they say so much to one another, even between lines. And it's not even tone. It is facial acting in a way
Yeah.
that is genuinely rare, I think.
It's
Woof.
so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. And there are particular scenes that I love the scene where she's playing the pianoforte and she's sitting with Fitzwilliam Darcy, that his cousin or his uncle or whatever, and they're literally talking about what a brat, Darcy is, and how he behaves. And she says something along the lines of, "He'll teach you never to believe a word I say, or that nothing I say it means any," like whatever. It's such a great scene. She's so cheeky but still so like the perfect version of this, like this the way a woman is supposed to behave in that time. Like, they're all so worried about, the fact that the sister is going to ruin everyone's lives because she's gone and run off with a man. It's going to ruin everyone's reputations. So there is this level of society, like societal norms that's there, but she does buck those really hard, and I love it. She's such a great character.
It, for some reason, this time more so than previous viewings or readings of this, I was struck with, it's easy to dismiss those sorts of concerns, even from the mother, as like, "Oh, she's overblowing it. It's frivolous. Everybody is being, this quintessential woman of their era. How silly. Ha ha ha. Let's laugh at it." But genuinely, it's not even ancient history. Your mother and
No.
my mother faced a time when they couldn't own a credit card or a bank account without their husband's right. Even today, Ashley, your state and my state is trying to ensure that women that change their name on their driver's license, can't do it without a birth certificate and a passport and a promise from their husband that they'll be a good little voter.
So fucking ridiculous. Oh yeah, like this next month in Arkansas is like devoted to like traditional values. Our idiot governor just announced. I'm like, I'll be out there acting out in the streets every time I can. Because I'm an obstinate, headstrong girl. Thank you.
This show is full of them, and they're all fucking delicious. All right, here's the first parallel between Pride and Prejudice and the adaptation of Interview with the Vampire and the Vampire Lestat over on AMC. They renown and appreciate the source material. We see it quoted directly often in this series. This book has, I think, arguably the best opening line in at least in English literature, right? There's probably a great deal of Chinese literature that you and I are not familiar in.
It is a truth universally acknowledged.
That a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife.
It's,
and the layers like the fact that you are saying what is obviously not a universal truth acknowledged in that way, it sets the tone. It sets like the expectations. It also sets the stakes. Like this will be a book about getting all these ladies married. Thank you very much. Okay. But also, like, here is a thumb in the eye of that whole, if you're here for a stodgy, aristocratic romance,
This is not
that
it.
is not what, yes. And
This
yet
is not it.
also, and yet
Kind
also,
of, sort of. It's got that vibe, but yeah, no, it's not. Because the whole story is built around something that's so fucking stupid and unfair, which was if you didn't have a male heir, then your estate, your money, your everything went to your next nearest living male relative instead of your fucking daughters.
yeah. Or even your wife. That's the thing.
Even
Like
your wife.
the mother is also desperate. She's like, I could be destitute if Mr. Collins decides to throw us all out, because it'll be his, not mine.
Well, and this is,
I'm only around for another 10 or 15 years after you die.
And this is a common theme in several of her novels. This is the same thing that happens in Sensibility, is that the father has died, the estate's going to the stepbrother of the girls, his first son, and now they have to go live in this little cottage and figure out how to exist on this new budget that they have,
So crazy.
Because you can't get a job. You're not allowed to work. We get pissed. The hoity-toity ladies get mad because Mr. Gardner is a lawyer. Whereas today, in this day and age, we're like, a lawyer? That guy's got a good job. A barrister?
Crispin,
my God.
Crispin Bonham Carter plays Mr. Bingley here. Is he related to Helena? It's got to be his sister, right?
I feel like I've looked that up, and I can't remember. I should have Googled that while we were,
I'm pulling it up right now.
While we're not recording.
Okay, he's the son of Peter Bonham Carter and Clodagh Greenwood, the grandson of Rear Admiral Christopher Bonham Carter. He is third cousin once removed of actress Helena Bonham Carter and her brother Edward. Third cousin once removed. I used to know that sort of etiquette. I don't now. Anyway, not as closely related as I thought. Handsome man, though, regardless. Again, he's one in the many of a long line of beautiful people in this show.
Sweet, bright eyes. His eyes are so bright and happy and cheerful. I just love.
You're right.
Like, it's so sweet. Perfect for Jane. Okay.
I want to start first with just Lizzie and Mr. Bennet. The relationship, first of all, I think Mr. Bennet generally is a great character. I mean, one of the great characters of this time period in literature, I think, period. He's not perfect. He is flawed in his own way, obviously. But like first of all, totally committed to his wife, even though he understands every one of her flaws, right? And more committed to his girls than his wife, in fact, actually. Like, look, if you were to make me choose, woman, I will choose this next generation that we've been raising, and you will settle and figure out a way to deal with me afterwards anyway, is my bet. And he makes that bet a couple of times.
Yeah, you see him draw that line in the sand with her when she's so furious that Lizzie won't marry Mr. Collins. And he's like, you have a choice before you. From this day forward, one of your parents will be unknown to you, and because she's gonna hate you if you don't marry him, and I won't talk to you if you do.
Such a good. There are so many of those great lines, though.
Yeah.
And a lot of great wisdom that comes from him. But I just genuinely I think about. We had Judah on, and there were several comments that ended up coming out that some version of like, oh, Joel, you're a good dad, that you've done a good job or something. And I'm like, yeah, well, I tried to emulate Mr. Bennet. And, I don't know, the guy from Different Strokes, I don't know. I'm doing my best over here.
You had some good sitcom role
Uncle
models.
Phil.
Yeah, Uncle Phil. That's a good one. Yeah.
You're going to have to go through me if you want to get to those boys.
Exactly. Mr. Bennet could be pissed that he doesn't have a male heir. He could be really, really have a real chip on his shoulder about that, because that was a big important thing back then. I mean, hell, to some people, it's still a big important thing now, you know. And he could have really resented his daughters, and I love that he doesn't. I love that he loves them, even the silliest of them, and that he sees himself in Lizzie and adores her.
Understands and appreciates the perfection of Jane. I
Mhm.
sees in Lizzie the like, oh, that's what it would have been like if I would have had a son. And
Yeah.
boy, Lizzie could rule the world if we
If
didn't
she
live
was a
in this.
man
Right.
yeah, or if she had been born a boy, she would have the world on fire.
Or if she becomes one of the wealthiest and most influential women in England, well,
By
then
marrying well?
things might go
Yeah.
very well for my future, actually.
You know,
Yeah.
there was a really great scene in last season of, Bridgerton, in the last season of Bridgerton. No, the 3rd season, with Colin and Penelope, or whichever season's fucking Colin and Penelope,
Yeah, I think that's
where
3.
yeah, where they're talking, Penelope's mother is kind of she's apologizing to her and trying to explain, like, "I'm so sorry that I seem like all I care about is you marrying someone rich or your sister's marrying someone rich. What I care about is that this world is not kind to young women. And I don't want you to have to do what I did, which was marry a man I didn't like, I didn't respect, I didn't enjoy, you know? And I think that's a lot of Mrs. Bennet. You know, she gets played up for the humor of it. But those are legitimate fears and concerns that mothers would have for their daughters in this time, you know? I'm sure that it's a fear that very traditional mothers have for their daughters in this time, you know, like, what if they never get married and have babies? But
Well, okay, it doesn't even have to be one exactly that even you have to be very traditional to worry about right now, because you look at not just our country, but like lots of societies are fighting a far right slide right now. Like
yeah.
generally, the world seems to have been on, and like you and I are both hopeful people, so we don't think maybe for our next generation it will actually be like this that long. But right now, you're
Yeah.
running the odds, and you're like, I
They're pretty
don't know,
grim.
maybe they will live in Gilead. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe we're going to try not to, but like
Oh,
anyway,
I do not look good in gray.
right? Okay. Um. Okay. Two things I want to point out here. Mr. Bennett is a very literal man in some ways, in a similar fashion to how we've talked about like part of Lestat's rough edges, I think at times, are similar
Mhm.
to my younger sons. He and I talk about this all the time. I'm like, you answer things literally. There was a wonderful, oh God, I don't have to use the Vampire Lestat as an example. There was a wonderful reel the other day where this woman was talking about, my husband made me mad, and let me explain it. He was on a ladder, putting a package like up in the top of the cabinets for me because he's a saint, he's an angel, and I love him. And
Mhm.
while he's up there, I said, hey, since you're up there anyway, do you want a dust? And he says, no, I don't. And I got hot and walked away from the room. And when I came back into the room after a few moments, that man was up there dusting. And I said, hey, I thought you said you weren't going to dust. And he
No, he
turned to
said I
me,
didn't want to.
and that man said, I said I didn't want to dust, but I never said that I wouldn't do it for you. And so here I'm doing it. It clicked with me in a way that like, oh my God, if first of all, if I could understand that always for myself, that they're looking at it from a different perspective. And if 50% of the time I could translate for her, and if 50% of the time Kelly could remember that I'm the most literal man on earth and she could translate for me, then boy, we would argue much less. But then I was like, oh wait, my kid's young enough, I could train him. Maybe let me give him that thought technology. So I was giving this to Remy. That is Mr. Bennett. Here's where he says, the mom is walking along and she says, I got the tea. Do you want to hear it? And he says, you want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it, which is
Yeah.
precisely what he means. It's not going to hurt my feelings that you tell me. It's not going to ruin my day. It's not even going to ruin this walk while I was
Right.
idly thinking. If it begins to, I will block you out completely. You want to tell me? You want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it. Okay,
I love that.
so But in the introduction of Mr. Darcy and Lizzie, the reason why they begin to butt heads, other than Mr. Darcy having this like very classist view of things, right?
Oh, he's a
Which again,
total dick.
Every time you see the exterior, though, of the Bennett's house, you're reminded how fucking stupid this is, that they would be like, you're so lowly.
Right.
Yeah, Pemberton is huge, you're right. But like the Bennetts
Pemberley is redonkulous.
Do you own an estate with land that people, like, that you take taxes off of?
Yeah, because you have land, you're a landlord, literally, like, not just like, you literally have this little village that you take care of.
Do you have enough land, Ashley, that belongs to you and Brett, that when you walk across it, the neighbors go, how dare you have walked by foot? You must take a carriage across your own property. Absolutely I don't have that sort of land is my point. Yeah, okay. All right. No. I'm a fat boy, but people still think I can walk across my whole property, and I don't even own it. Anyway.
I can definitely walk across my yard.
But you set aside the classicism, though, and the only reason they butt heads is this. She asks, or it's proposed that they dance. And he does not decline. He says he would be honored to dance with Miss Bennet. He had not been really wanting to dance. He's sort of forced into this moment of civility. He accepts, yes, I'd love to dance. She declines because he's been a little standoffish generally.
He's been a dick.
And then... I mean, but he hasn't really been a dick. He's just been autistic is what he's been. Actually, he's just been autistic. Anyway.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, too, like you have a responsibility as a man of good fortune to still act your role in society too, you know, like, and that's part of the thing about both of these.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're like such an apologist for bad male behavior, Joel.
Only when they're this handsome, Ashley. Only
when they look like that coming out of a pond. Hello.
But I feel like, I feel like if Lizzie would have given him a little understanding based on her experience with her father. Her father is a certain way, and because he's an old man and he's a little soft around the edges now, she didn't see in him the same thing, honestly, that her father is prideful in a very similar way to like her father and her uncle both get so mad, honestly, at the idea that Darcy pays for everything in the end and yet won't take the credit for it either. Right. And I'm like, fucking say thank you and take that free money from the wealthy.
It good. Yeah.
Let the billionaires build museums, Ashley, is all.
Do you want to say this, Joel? Because I think maybe you went away during part of the scene. That he's walking around there with Bingley's two snooty bitch sisters talking about how there are not very many pretty women here. Loud enough that people can hear.
Do you think they all? I didn't feel like everybody heard that. And I also feel like, again, that's him doing his best to fit in with this group, which, by the way, he never chooses that woman. That snooty ass bitch. I put her bad hat. The bad hat bitch that followed. I can't even remember her name.
Caroline Bingley.
Okay. Caroline Bingley. He likes Mr. Bingley. That bitch came with the package. He never spends any time with her. He never gives her the time of day, other than literally this first scene where he's like, sort of like, yeah, Caroline, of course. That's the way that I'm reading that opening scene. And he is immediately struck by Lizzie. And he says yes to the dance, even though he doesn't want to dance, even though he has this feeling later. And don't get me wrong, he says it's so fucking wrong. But even though he's like, it'll ruin my family if I even dance with you, probably, let alone court you, marry you, bring you into Pemberton, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like, if Lizzie would have given him 30 seconds of grace, I feel like, again, it's like a Post-it note, right? He would have latched onto this earlier in a way that would have avoided some of his worst sensibilities, to steal the other book. And also Lizzie would have immediately realized this is a charming and handsome motherfucker, and I'll be rich and protected beyond my understanding in any other circumstance.
Yeah.
Like all of my other sisters, it won't matter.
You're not winning me over to this. I've read this book 850 times. No.
Can we agree that the mother's the worst, though?
She's the most ridiculous woman that's ever lived. And Kitty And poor Kitty, and Mary's the sister that there's a new series about, a book came out, the other Bennett sister, and it's all about like from Mary's perspective. I'm
The
really
piano
excited.
playing,
The
mousy,
nerdy one that's like very self-righteous.
Yes.
There's a new series BBC put out. I'm so excited to see it. We can finally get it here. But I'm really excited to watch that. But no,
That is
like
super exciting.
part of yes, Mrs. Bennett's ridiculous. Lydia is absolutely Lydia is our shoot, what's her name? The little slutty gal in The Witches that you love so much in Mayfair. Mona.
Yes. I was comparing her to she's the sister-in-law from Only Lovers Left Alive, who like shows up and fucks up their whole thing.
Messes up everybody's lives. Yeah. She definitely
like,
Lydia.
Hey everybody, I'm sorry I OD'd and married accidentally like the poorest officer in the British Army. My bad, everybody.
Sorry guys, I got tricked by a much older man. Never mind the fact that this poor girl is 15 years old.
Okay, hey, I just want to speak on that for a second, because that's in the text. I'm like 99% certain too. All the way back in Jane Austen's day, we knew better than a grown man fucking with a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, she shouldn't have been, technically, she should not have been out in society yet. She was not old enough. She or Kitty both. And
Lady Catherine is aghast that she is even out.
And a little rightly so. Like, those girls should not have been out yet. But that's part of, like, Mr. Bennet not having enough recognition or understanding of the nature of all of his daughters to make the right choices as far as like putting his foot down about what they were allowed to do and not do. And Mrs. Bennet was very much, get out there and find you a husband, you know?
Okay. Like, that's a big example of his flaw, I would say. He writes those younger ones all off as silly. You've got 3 silly sisters, and because they're silly, they're not dangerous in any way. They can't make choices that might hurt them, and he doesn't have to worry about their prefrontal cortex not being developed yet.
No.
Because they're silly, so don't worry about them. And again, it's like we underestimate women and keep them out of their power, but also we underestimate women and allow, in this case, he allowed them to get into a situation that, like, this isn't, we want to blame Lydia, and I joke about her being the sister-in-law coming in and fucking
stupid,
it all up.
but
it's not Lydia's fault.
She's just
it's
a
not
kid.
Lydia's fault.
She's just a dumb, flirting
She's a
girl.
romantic teenager.
Yes. It's like, Lizzie was like, she'll be the most determined flirt.
I mean, I've got a 12-year-old daughter who likes boys. Like, she's very fond of the idea of boys specifically, and some boys in specific. And also, she's a bit of a romantic. She likes the idea of romance and love and dating. And imagine that. She's with almost 13-year-old girl, right?
Yeah.
However, none of that is inviting anything. None of that it would make it her fault if something happened. It is incumbent upon me not to put a ring on her and make her go to a ball and promise or protect her purity, but it's about not putting her in situations where she is allowed to make impulsive, terrible choices for herself and for the future of her life, right?
Well, so like not being in situations
and not putting her around people that are predators. Yes.
Yeah, 100%, which, you know, like by the time all this shit's said and done, we know that Wickham is an absolute piece of shit.
It's a pattern. He, like, not just is he a crumb bum and a debtor and everything else that he is.
No, he's trying to get money from rich women, and then he just
but not just that. He particularly likes them young. He tried to get Darcy's sister when she was too young too.
Yeah.
I think the reason that we are supposed to know that Darcy is a guy that we are going to work through his flaws, and he's not a villain from the beginning. I think a great example of that is the way that he speaks positively about the Bennets behind closed doors. He gets with his friends and his family, and the girls start to talk shit again. Nobody else is around to hear him, and he does not engage in it.
Yeah. And he even gets, as the story progresses, he gets more and more upfront with them about that.
Yes,
And
direct about confronting it.
there's a line in the book where it's talking about something he says to Caroline, and it was, and he was forced, something along the lines of, he was forced to say to her what would give no one but her pain, or something like that, you know. And it was like something about Lizzie's eyes, or her being, you know, her charming eyes, or her looking, you know, or her still being the most, or her having become the most handsome woman of his, you know, acquaintance.
Estimation, yeah, or
Yeah,
whatever.
of his in his estimation. Yeah. So it's, you know, and he gets more aggressive. He even gets up and leaves the room at one point, which I love. She starts talking shit, and he's like, "Nope, I'm out."
Yeah. Okay.
He's definitely giving very redeemable qualities very quickly. I mean, you can tell he's a good friend to
He's a diamond in the
Bingley.
rough.
He's, you know, he's a rough diamond
Even
in the rough.
That's what's crazy. Okay, that's what's crazy. When it all comes out, when you finally get the story of Wickham in full, and you realize Darcy's part in Bingley and Jane's romance.
That's the shittiest thing he does.
Okay, he's still wrong.
Period.
Well, the shittiest thing is keeping the knowledge that she's in London. I would argue he's wrong in the initial, hey, you shouldn't marry that woman. You really should not marry that woman. That woman's not good for you. This is a bad idea. He's wrong in that as well. But I would argue, like, the way that he lays it out is terrible. But he does think that it will cause him problems. And guess what? It will cause him problems in society in small ways. Now, Bingley and Darcy are both so privileged and so wealthy that they shouldn't worry about those societal short-term, right? In 25 years, nobody will remember where Lizzie Bennet came from. Nobody will remember where Jane Bennet came from now that they are Jane Bingley and Elizabeth Darcy. But he's not wrong that it will cause strife in the first point. And so the fact that he's willing to give his friend good advice and then to even not take it himself to be overcome by romance. I'm just saying, I was impressed. I'm impressed.
I swear to God, I've never, ever, ever been forced to look at this book through a masculine lens. And I got to tell you, I'm not enjoying it.
I don't care for it.
I don't care
Here's
for
what's funny.
it.
Here's what's funny is you find my apologies for Mr. Darcy more offensive than my apologies for a mass murdering blonde vampire.
Well, because we have to acknowledge Mr. Darcy's pride and Elizabeth's prejudice.
You're right. It's thorough in both cases. Okay, so here is some of her prejudice. He says out loud, again, you talk about out loud in front of people. He says about her, the improvement of her mind by extensive reading. He's trying to praise Elizabeth specifically, and Lizzie cuts him off and then cuts him down in front of everybody immediately. She damns him with the brush that he's trying to paint her with, and yes,
he's been an asshole. She don't like him.
They
Joel.
deserve to mix the metaphors. I'm just saying.
She don't like him. The conflict is sexy. We need it, but she doesn't like him.
It is so.
She thinks he's an asshole.
Why is it so sexy? Why is it so sexy, Ashley?
I don't know. Okay. Look, listen. I don't fight. My husband and I do not fight at all. I don't know. Want to be in a relationship.
I don't find my fighting sexy. I don't find
fighting sexy. I don't find fighting sexy in my life.
No,
I do not need that. That does not turn me on. But something about like the misunderstanding of it all, and knowing how it's going to end. You know, like, I mean, God, if you don't know how this book ends, I don't know. I don't even know what to tell you. But like knowing how it's going to go. It's so fun to see how you get there. Like, getting there is the fun part. And if you've ever kind of, like, anybody that's been in a relationship with someone that, like, started off kind of volatile and then turned into something totally different, that's a cool journey. That enemies to lovers is a very well-known, beloved trope in literature, you know?
I mean, this is, in some ways, a rewrite of Much Ado About Nothing. Right? It's not obvious. The plot is not the same. Yeah,
but it's that same vibe. Yeah, absolutely same vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about
my favorite type of character, female character in literature. I'm not going to lie. I love the brash, mouthy woman that isn't isn't exactly what society expects of her, but is still like strong and takes care of business. It's not like she's a fucking lunatic running around in the streets, you know. She just has they have their own quiet rebellions. And I think
Yeah.
that's, you know, like that's something to hold on to. They wouldn't give us pockets because of what we might keep in our pockets, ladies.
Everybody talks about the end of episode 5 where he comes out of the pond soaking wet,
Jesus
and they bump into each
Christ.
other accidentally, and goodness, we'll get there in a minute. But I want to draw, because you were talking about the tension being what is so sexy. Boy, I'm literally had to fan myself. I get to the end of episode 4, and he is on his horse, and she's walking through the woods, and they stumble on each other in that way, and they look at each other, and then they look away, and then they look at each other one more time, and then they walk quickly in opposite directions, you know, and stop looking at each other immediately. And I was like, oh, it's the glancing for me. It's the powerful glancing.
It is the yes. It is the looks under the eyelashes from across the room too. Yes, give me that.
The way that man grits his teeth while he's like, I need to jump across this sedan and lay this woman on this carpet, but also all of my friends would leave me. We'd scandalize her, and she hates me anyway.
Yeah,
and then I would look the
and now I
biggest
love
fool
her.
of
I
all
hate her,
time.
but I love her. It's so weird. And she's like, I hate him, but I love him. It's so weird. But he goes really far to show her his actual self. And that's
tries,
the thing, is that he really puts the fucking effort into change. He's like,
so
I was
dumb.
embarrassed.
He's so dumb at it, but he does. He goes so far to try to make amends every time he truly understands this new evolution of what they have and what she offers. That's one of the reasons why I think I am so apologetic, because I do see a lot of my own personal path in relationships generally, not with one, thank God, I guess, did I go through all of these sorts of things. But like, I'm so dumb. You want to hint at me, and you want me to know what you want. And it's like, I fucking don't. I barely know what I want. Okay.
He just really didn't. She just really didn't want him to talk shit about her at a party, Joel. It's not that hard to figure out. No, I totally get what you're saying. I understand exactly. But I also don't think Darcy would be as likable in his turn
if it didn't,
if he didn't suck so bad at the beginning. Like you're like, goddamn, Colin Firth is hot, but he's an asshole.
He's Bill Murray and Scrooged, right? Like he's a real. You're like, oh, this son of a bitch. But at the end,
Bill Murray
like,
could never. I don't ever want to see Bill Murray come out of a fucking lake dripping wet. No offense.
Oh man,
I'm a big fan, but yeah, he does have that swagger, that vibe of that type of character for sure.
Yeah.
He's so proud.
All right. So Darcy knows that Lizzie is worth figuring out. When is the first moment that he's like, it doesn't matter actually that she's so lowborn. I should pay attention to this attraction for a minute, is because the dog likes her so much. It's when she's playing with the dog.
Playing with his
That's
dog.
when he goes, oh, but wait. That's a woman. That's a woman.
One of the most beautiful things about this series is that because it's a series, they get to take their time. And you get to see her and Jane picking flowers, and her just taking walks and flitting about the neighborhood, and enjoying just getting to see her live in that space and time. How could you not fall in love with her? He loved that she came walking all the way, like everybody else was scandalized. But part of him loved that she walked her ass across town to see her sister.
Do you walk often to see your sister? Yes, regularly.
Yeah. And she says when they make fun of her for being tan, he was like, oh, she seems a little tan, but that's no great shock since she's traveling in the summertime, you bitches.
Which, again, this pasty woman is too tan for you all. That pasty white English woman.
Perfect fucking porcelain
skin. Exactly.
Please.
Yeah. I'm like, she's not any whiter when we see her as Gabriella in the Vampire Lestat, y'all. Like, it's not.
No.
Which, by the way, you want to talk about aged like fine wine. Jennifer Ehle, y'all. Colin Firth is not alone in his handsomeness in his later years.
No, Jennifer
Sir and
Ehle
madam.
is beautiful. She's
Is there a
gorgeous.
sequel book we want to run real quick?
Right. I really love her. She's in Zero Dark 30.
Really?
Yeah, she's in Zero Dark 30 and plays a CIA agent that's based off of a woman, Jennifer something. Anyway, she's fabulous in it. She's so good. She's got a little bit of like a Southern accent in it. Like she says Al Qaeda. And like it's just, I mean, I love her in that role. And then she's also plays this real bitch in The Looming Tower. Like, sorry about all the 9/11 shit here, guys, but she plays she plays our ambassador to I can't think of it. Yemen, our ambassador to Yemen at the time. And she's a real cunt in that. So it's really interesting. You get to see her be this like
spread.
Yes. Yeah. She has got range. I am a huge fan of Jennifer Ehle.
I think just like Ben Daniels last year, I think her calendar is going to get real busy after this AMC stint.
She could potentially run off with quite a bit of the season as far as stealing the show. I'm excited to see what she brings. Which I haven't watched, like you said. I've kind of pulled back on watching previews and things like that because I haven't.
I just want to watch the show. Actually, now I just want to watch the show.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I love the introduction of Mr. Collins.
My God.
And that actor is so good too. But that character,
so greasy and smarmy.
Greasy is the perfect word. I don't know that I've ever. Okay. Oh, I do know. Actually, now that I think about it, we did a show called 6 Characters in Search of an Author.
Yeah.
I played a pimp named Emilio Paz. And I had hair. My hair was like down to my butt, I think, at the time. And so I wore a ponytail pulled back tight, and I had it, slicked down and everything, dark black. I wore a dark tan makeup. I had a gold chain, button-up shirt, unbuttoned with my chest hair out, the whole 9-yard suspenders. And I come out for like one scene and then walk through the house. That guy, when we were conceiving of him and like working in the rehearsal process, we literally described him as greasy. That is what this preacher is. And having it be a man of the cloth to be so that greasy. He's
so greasy.
Perfect.
Yeah. He's such a simp. Oh my Christ. Like, such a good representation of that overly pious person that does everything in the name of showing off. Everything he does is to show off, to please, to advance himself.
But the final one I think is more accurate even. To show off and please whom though? It is money. His patronage comes from a woman who is all about
Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Lady Catherine de Bourgh, more than 800 windows.
What a bitch.
64. There were 64 windows. Anyway, the introduction of Collins is amazing, though. But my favorite part of Collins' character, honestly, is when he decides to propose to Lizzie. For almost as soon as I entered the house, because he does remember I like Jane better.
Jane first.
I like Jane better, but she was spoken for. Yeah. I singled you out as the companion of my future life. Okay.
Look, Lizzie doesn't even want to get married. Like, for her, it's not a thing. She wants to be an old maid and, like, take care of her. She wants to be an old auntie.
It's an obligation that she does feel genuinely, because every one of the daughters that are married makes the following daughter's marriage easier, more likely, the burden on the rest of the family less. If every daughter is married, the collective income is greater than if only one or two of the daughters are married, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, it's just a burden.
Assumption too, like if someone like Jane marries Mr. Bingley, that's going to financially help everybody, like on a lot of different levels between,
And the mother, God bless her, says that out loud at dinner, which of course will put the other girls in line for many rich men. And like, okay, here's another thing that this show does that the Vampire Lestat and Interview with the Vampire do. The flashbacks in the way that we see scenes through multiple characters' eyes. Darcy and Elizabeth several times in the show have a scene together or against each other, and then will go home and replay it for themselves, slowly understanding their own shortcomings, right? Or better
Foibles.
understanding the argument they should have made, right? And either way, I think that is, I mean, it's so real. That is what we do, right? 30 minutes after the fight with your buddy or whatever, you're like, what I should have said is this. And
just,
whether that's to be wittier or to have calmed it down and gotten through and communicated better, either way, you don't remember that shit in the heat of the moment.
Yeah. No, you do not. And also those moments too where you realize like a little spark is happening and you're kind of curious about it and you can't stop thinking about that person. Like I'll never forget driving back to my apartment after the first time Brett and I went to a movie together. And I was driving and I looked in my rearview mirror and I was like, oh my God, I think that's his car behind me. Oh my God. I had so much fun. He's so cute. I think that's his car. Oh my God, it's his car. Like, stupid. I was like a child about it, like a goofy, like again, a 13-year-old girl about it. But I think that that's part of it too. That starts creeping in that like, oh, what's he doing? What's he thinking? What's she doing? What's she thinking?
More than once in my life, I have gotten home and then realized that was an invitation. They weren't asking that. They didn't mean that they wanted to have a cup of coffee at 2:30 a.m.
No, that was
That
sex.
was, I could
That was
have
probably sex, Joel.
Okay, but if I go now, that's first of all weird, but second, even if they want me to come in, I now look like a total. And what if they don't want me to come in? That's the worst for everybody. Then I never get to come in again.
Yeah, no, then you don't ever get invited back. Yeah.
Anyway,
there's a lot to unpack early in relationships.
Yes, it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable. And especially when you do have, and I joke about autism, but like, I know I'm not the first one to describe Darcy as coded that way. Frankly, fucking Lizzie either, right? It is part of the problem is that neither one of them are built for this world, which is all about this fucking ritualistic dance of classism and romanticism.
Literal and figuratively, yep.
Literally, I kept asking myself, when do they learn the fucking dances, Ashley? Why do they all know the dances?
Because they have classes, Joel. When they're girls, they have classes. They do before they go. But before they're presented into society, they take classes and learn how to needlepoint and how to fucking, sit right at events and hold their fork right and all those silly little dances.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of silly little dances, I want to talk about the hypocrisy of the elites in this series and the book. Lady Catherine de Bourgh, there's a great line. There's lots of examples of this from her character, but I think the perfect example is
worst.
They're playing music at her house, and she says, "There are few in England with more enjoyment of music, and none with better taste. And if I had learned, I would be a true proficient." Bitch, at this point, women's entire job is to learn a talent.
Right.
So that you can flirt with men, dancing or singing or playing a piano. And you're so wealthy, you just didn't even worry about that.
You didn't have to bother with that shit.
But you're still looked down on that. I mean, Ashley, this is giving Tech Bro talking about how AI is going to enable so many more people to become musicians. Like, no,
that's not how that works. That is not how any of that works.
If I had learned, I would be a true proficient. Fuck you.
Lady Catherine de Bourgh is the biggest bitch. The biggest bitch.
Okay. When you mentioned it earlier, when Darcy shows up with the Colonel for the first time,
I love Fitzwilliam Darcy. I would marry Fitzwilliam Darcy. Of all of these characters, when they introduced Fitzwilliam, I was like, this would be a great match for Lizzie. Oh my God. He's so great. Like, he's funny and he's charming and he's engaging.
And he's not snooty. He's not
a
snooty
dick.
in any way.
Yeah, I
he's not
love
as
him.
classist. I say
really
that
love
we
him.
are not exposed to his classism. We
Well,
don't see every
he
shade of him
doesn't
like
have
we do
to be. He is not
Mr. Darcy.
he's not the eldest son in any situation here. He's not the one that has to carry on the family estate, etc. So that's those lesser relations, those second sons, if you will. I mean, they're not brothers, but it's that same sort of thing. Like, he has more freedom to enjoy his life because he doesn't have to have the responsibility of carrying on the family name and traditions.
Okay, I think that scene might be the most cowardly that Darcy is in the whole show, though, okay? Because it's not the Colonel's idea to come over here and visit. It's Darcy's idea to come over here and visit.
Oh, yeah,
And what has he
100%.
done to
He's
the Colonel?
dragged-
He has told he's told the Colonel every good thing about Elizabeth specifically, the Bennets, their house, this countryside, et cetera, et cetera. He's been ranting and raving about how wonderful they are. They race over there as soon as they're near. And then Darcy doesn't say a fucking word the whole time that he's there. He stomps around and waits for his brother to flirt Elizabeth into loving him, I guess. I don't know. I'm just like,
maybe
you cowardly.
He needs a wingman, Joel. He was looking for his wingman.
Okay. Then you gotta say at some point, you point her to my penis over here, please, and say that it is also available and wealthier than yours. In fact, how about that? Will you
and
remind
it really
her?
likes you already.
Very
I
fond
love
of
that,
you.
though.
This
I really do love that he falls for her before she falls for him, and that he has
so hard.
He has to pursue her instead of her pursuing him. And I think that is so brilliant. It's one of my favorite things about this particular book and the story it tells, because it's not about a woman pining after a man. It's actually what happens when a man's pining after a woman and trying to dig himself out of the fucking grave he dug for himself when he was a real asshole the first 10 times they met.
The other thing that I think, again, is like very progressive when you break it down, Darcy, it's not that he doesn't take no for an answer, right? He very specifically does take no for it. He assumes he has absolutely ruined any future chance with Elizabeth. He just also decides the rest of my life will be about how badly I feel that I fucked up this one chance. And I'm going to spend money, I'm going to spend my time, I'm going to ruin my reputation with some of my friends. I'm going to throw caution to the wind and tell my buddy he ought to marry the girl that he loves because God damn it, I wish I had, et cetera, et cetera. Like, anyway, this is not taking no for an answer. This is a genuine fucking Scrooge-like change of heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And behavior. He changes his behavior, friends. That's how we can end the male loneliness epidemic. We could stop being dickheads.
Look and listen. I think that's what I've been saying from the beginning of this.
Everybody want to fuck, y'all. They just don't want to fuck losers. They don't want to fuck bit dickhead losers.
Mean people. I do not want to fuck someone who's mean to me. Hello.
Yeah. Also,
unless it's planned and we've agreed to it.
The rule is, as the maestro once said, if you get home with them and they don't have any books, don't fuck them. So
also
get some books on your shelf. Start with Pride and Prejudice. It's a very good one.
You guys, it's seriously top 3 favorite books. I love it. It reads so beautifully, and it's not stodgy or boring. It's really funny. Like, it's very, very funny.
It's so funny.
If you've ever enjoyed an adaptation of it, I highly recommend reading it. I do think that, and I haven't watched the 2005 film because, frankly, I didn't need it. I was all set. And Keira Knightley and her chin acting can be a little much for Ashley. I think I'm going to eventually watch it, but I just can't recommend this version of the story enough because it has all of the charm and the humor and the laughter. It's not overly angsty. In these times, in this economy, you could do yourself a favor and escape for 6 hours, 5.5, and like get lost in a really fun love story where a man learns from his mistakes.
Boy. Hey, have you ever been a man who ruined a relationship and you're like, I don't even know what I did? Watch Pride and Prejudice. It will probably explain it.
It'll probably explain it.
Mandy Taylor in our Facebook group says, I've seen the 2 adaptations so many times, this and Joe Wright, that I think I've had such a full emotional relationships with all the well-crafted supporting characters. The Bennett parents are some of my favorites. What incredible comedy and affection from both, really, but especially Mr. Bennett. Also, I think about and empathize with Mr. Collins a great deal, as strange and simpering as he is. He's really just looking for some acknowledgement and doesn't understand social cues, not unlike our hero, to be honest.
That's
I
very
also
true.
come away with the thought that most of the Bennett sisters would say the nastiest things about me behind my back. There's a beautiful redhead at one of the balls, whose name I cannot recall, whom
Yes,
they
they're
pity
such
for
bitches.
her unfortunate looks. My goodness.
Yep.
I really love how imperfect everyone is, except, of course, Jane, who can't have been so pretty for nothing. And first of all, yes, that is another way that this is like our series. We've talked about nobody with clean hands, nobody unredeemable.
Jane,
This
though.
story, other than Wickham. Wickham's an unredeemable motherfucker. Fuck
Wickham's a
him
piece of
forever
shit.
and a day.
I love that.
Here's
when Lizzie says to Jane, "I'll never have your happiness until I have your goodness."
Oh, it's so perfect. Okay. Here's quickly about Wickham, because I want to be done talking about him forever. Wickham's got the balls. So he gets through all of this. We save him and Lydia from their terrible choices.
Yes.
And everything's going to be sort of okay in society eventually. And then he's got the balls to come talk to Lizzie about Darcy. And then he's surprised when she cuts him off and points out his own wrongdoing. I'm like, not only are you a criminal, you're a dumb criminal, huh? You just happen to be good looking and charismatic. Fuck you.
It's that
Wickham?
It's that guy that's a asshole, but really doesn't want anyone to know. You know, like, please. I mean, I dated someone like that. That was a real dick, but really never wanted anyone to know what an asshole they were.
This would like totally ruin it for me if you said anything about this, man.
If you just don't tell people about. Yeah,
it's just like a misunderstanding.
You're crazy. It's because you were crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So to end episode 4, I want to go back, or excuse me, to end episode 5. This is the one that everybody talks about. I want to go briefly to the wet shirt scene. It's so beautifully done.
I'll always go to the wet shirt scene.
Right. Lizzie is in the house. She's getting the tour of the house. She's admiring this gigantic, perfect portrait of Darcy.
Does not think he's there. Has been reassured. Would not be there if she thought he was there. She was
also,
I'm mortified. I would not be there if he's here.
She jokes about falling in love with him when she sees Pemberton for the first time, but really, her heart has already her heart has already been warmed at this point. She has already decided there's value there. It's just, he doesn't like me, and it's silly for me to, like, what am I going to do? Chase him? I would never. So,
and he's very much changed he's very different with her here. When he greets her, when he goes upstairs and changes clothes, comes back down, apologizes. Mr. Darcy is not an apologizer.
Why is he wet in the first place? It's the first impetuous thing that we see Darcy do in the whole
He's
show,
trying to get her out of his mind. That's the whole reason why, like, he was like, something, I've got to, like, he's been sword fighting, and there's, before the infamous lake scene, there is a very sexy fencing scene, which we can all enjoy.
Yes.
But he's like, literally, he's just trying to stop thinking about her in this situation, you know? Left and came to his country home to try to find some peace. And then here
jumps
she
in this
is.
pool. Okay, but the dialogue when they finally see each other is so, first of all, he looks amazing in that shirt. But the dialogue when they finally see each other, and his hair, oh my God, his hair is so good at this point. Like, it's in ringlets and everything and dripping.
Yeah.
She says, she looks at him, and she is not looking him in the eyes. She says, I did not expect to see you, sir. I did not expect to see so much of you. Yeah. And he says, like, 3 times in a row, and your parents are in good health.
Are they well?
Are they well?
He's so awkward
and all your sisters.
And that's so cute. Like, I love that. Getting to see that kind of vulnerable, nervous side of him.
he races to get dressed and in decent condition so that he can make sure that she does not leave. Please let me show you what a wealthy motherfucker I am.
But instead of telling her, let me go upstairs and change clothes quickly so that I can show you the grounds, he just leaves. So she's like, this is very bad indeed. He's very upset with me.
Okay, boy, one of the coldest lines from any character period who we are not genuinely supposed to despise is from the mother. The death, oh no, it's not from the mother, it's from Collins. Mr. Collins comes back to the house and says, the death of your sister would have been a blessing. Listen, when we talk about the declining population of American evangelical churches, Mr. Collins is the lineage that brought us the declining population of American evangelical churches. Fuck you and your prosperity bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, thank you. You pious piece of shit.
Right.
And poor Charlotte Lucas is like, well, he's never in the house, so actually this has worked out pretty well for me. He plays in his garden a lot and hangs out with Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Oh, okay. I forgot about Charlotte, but I did want to ask you about her. How do you feel about the... First of all, I don't think in the series, honestly, we get enough time with Charlotte pre-marriage to make her settling feel any sort of way to me. That's the one thing, even in 6 episodes, that I wish we'd gotten another scene or two with her and
honestly,
Lizzie
I don't
to
think
anchor that.
You get that much more in the book about it, except that they're confidants. And this is something Lizzie never expected to see from her friend. She expected her friend to probably marry for sure, but wouldn't marry for convenience or for money, but probably more for love. I think that that's kind of what it comes down to. And also, Mr. Collins is not a good choice for a husband in general, but it makes sense for Charlotte, and that's what she tries to explain to Lizzie later. Like, this serves me. This is taking care of me. This is taking care of my family. This is what I need, and I get to live a whole life separate from this guy because he's busy doing his shit.
He will never be incredibly wealthy, but his vocation puts him within arm's reach of status. He's got this personal relationship with the Lady Catherine de Bourgh, which means he'll be in the will in some, like, he'll have a retirement and a livelihood. She'll have a retirement and a livelihood. Her children will be respected members of society because they're clergymen's children, et cetera, et cetera. So like, she's like, hey, this sorts it. I don't have to fight. I don't have to wait. I don't chance destitution.
And
I can control them.
Lizzie, I don't think Lizzie has that pull or that desire necessarily to make that choice for convenience, or like, if she gets married, she wants to marry for love. Bridgerton, they call them love matches. They're like, I want a love match, like, I want to marry someone that I fall in love with. But most of the time, it's like a business transaction, y'all. Like, that's how it is. And that's how marriage was in this time period. So for these women to be choosing to have the audacity to choose to not get married unless they fall in love with someone, Lizzie's a badass. I love her.
Okay. One more time before we start to wrap this up, because we could talk about this all day. I genuinely thought about, I was like, do we just go 2 hours and really break down everything? It was like, no, it's a book.
I could talk.
It's a few hundred years old. People have read Pride and Prejudice. They've seen one of these adaptations. Go watch this one because it is great. However, I do want to hit here again. Let's shout out Mr. Bennett. He is confronted. First of all, he's gone through all these trials and tribulations with his daughters. There's scandal. He's got a lot of expenses that he's laid out, even though Darcy covers the vast majority of them. He doesn't know that, and he's got his own expenses.
Yeah, he was expecting.
Yeah, he's going to pay the local creditors and stuff.
Yeah, to pay all this back.
And also, he owed them $5,000 when he died, or a piece of $5,000 when he dies, and $100 a year as a living, or something like that. So it's not, or £100 a year or whatever. Anyway. But even after all of that, Lizzie comes to him happily. Lizzie looks excited about it. And she's like, Daddy, I'm going to marry Mr. Darcy. And he goes, you're not really, though, are you? Fucking Mr. Darcy is wealthy beyond repair. He's incredibly high in society.
But he cares about his daughter.
That's what I'm saying. Even his first
not for my
is,
Lizzie. I could not I could not have. What does he
He
say?
couldn't be good enough for you.
Yeah.
Is effectively what he's saying.
I couldn't give you up for less than this type of person, this type of love, this type of match. And what's hilarious is the scene before that. He gets that letter from Mr. Collins that was like reiterating the fight that Lady Catherine and Lizzie had in the yard, where she's like,
He's
"Fuck
like,
yourself."
Lady Catherine does not approve of this match.
And you get my
like,
whole.
Isn't that hilarious?
One of my favorite lines in all of literature, which is "obstinate, headstrong girl." Oh, I love it because I relate. But yeah, so you have that whole scene with the two of them laughing about that beforehand, and then Darcy comes to him to ask for her hand, and you get the next scene, and it's just those two back to back are so good.
Oh, speaking of, and I wrote this down, but I hadn't mentioned it. We talked about the sexiest thing that Colin does, I think, is that back and forth glance, not the wet shirt. Here's the sexiest thing that Lizzie does in the whole movie, or the whole series, her standing up to Lady Catherine. When she's not trying to fight Lady Catherine. She's like, Lady Catherine can say whatever she wants to about me out here. But she presumes to tell that woman to promise me that you never would accept. She's like, are you paying my bills? Are you fucking me? Are you feeding me?
Yeah.
No? Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Miss DeBurge.
And her just like storming back into the house is the best.
I'll have you hear me. She's so wicked witch in that scene, man.
Oh, what a bitch.
But Mr. Bennet says, my child, let me not have the grief of seeing you unable to respect your partner in life.
Yes.
Okay, y'all, that's the key. You're not going to, no matter how great your marriage, Ashley and Brett say they don't fight, which I believe you. I'm not glossing the donut there. I think you're telling the truth. Y'all don't fight. But every day is also not a fucking romantic picnic. Am I right?
No.
You wake up some mornings and you're not like, hey, I want to climb you like a tree ladder, actually, sir.
Absolutely not. No, there's dog piss on the floor and we didn't do laundry and we're normal
I live
people.
with you every day and I see you drool and that one time you didn't brush your teeth properly or whatever, right? All the things. I hear you fart.
We don't fight about the
together.
stupid things that a lot of couples argue about because we don't care. Like, we have no skin in that game. You know, like,
what you do have is the ultimate respect, though. That's what he's saying here. I don't want to see you with the grief of being unable to respect your partner.
I could not be with someone long term that I did not have an immense amount of respect for. I just couldn't. I couldn't live with myself. I'd feel really gross. And it's exactly what, I mean, hell, I think if my dad were around, he would say something like that to me, you know, like.
Our last misunderstanding, I can't even remember exactly what it was about, but Kelly and I had butted heads over something, and I was like, hey, listen, after we had both like taken a breather and calmed down for a minute, I was trying to explain myself better, and I was like, okay, when you reacted that way, it was because you thought I was like correcting you and saying you were dumb in the thing that you had asked, right? And she goes, yeah. And I go, okay. I need you to understand, if I thought, even for 30 seconds, if I actually believed Kelly's dumb, I would file divorce papers before I talked to you. I would leave. That would be the end of, if I actually thought, holy shit, I married a dumb person and I haven't noticed it all these years, that I love you, but I cannot, just as you said, I cannot be with someone that I don't respect. And if I really thought that you were dumb, not just we were having a misunderstanding and I was trying to forcefully communicate the misunderstanding that we were, it's like I think for a moment you went into Spanish mode and I have to yell my English at you so that you can understand it, right? Or whatever. You know, I'm being dumb. I do understand that, but I never think you're dumb. If I did, this would be over. So, like, it's not over. It's never going to be over because I don't think you're dumb. Yes, I love the way that he put it. I also love, again, it's like progressive, your partner in life. He's not talking about husbands and wives there. He's like, because I bet he feels the same way.
He doesn't give a shit if Lizzie doesn't get married.
Yes,
he doesn't give a shit if Lizzie doesn't ever get married. He does not care. That man doesn't care if his daughter gets married. He would be supportive and loving of her if she decided to be an old maid and be on the shelf and just be an awesome aunt to her nieces and nephews that she's going to have 8,000 of. You know, like, he doesn't need her to get married for her. Like, that's not
No.
part of his goal for her, so if she chooses to do it, he does not it's like, I mean, it's his opposition to Mr. Collins. Like, no, under
Yes.
no circumstances is my Lizzie marrying Mr. Collins. No, he could pick another one of the silly girls, but he's not marrying my Lizzie.
I was going to say, if Mr. Collins had decided that Lydia was the one for him, I get the inclination that if they had done it properly, he probably wouldn't have objected. He would have sold that girl off at 15 or 16, probably. To the preacher?
Let's go.
Sure. Okay, yeah. But like, okay. But I do, though, I think that line also tells us that Mr. Bennet genuinely respects Mrs. Bennet. He doesn't always agree with her. He thinks sometimes that she acts silly, that she falls too much into gossip, or that she agrees too much with society's whims or whatever. But I don't think he is telling her, I have the grief of not respecting my partner and I don't want that for you. That's not the way that line reads.
There's a little bit more of that vibe in the book, I will say.
Oh, okay. Boo.
Like, I don't know. There's a little bit more of that vibe in the book. Like, she is very tiresome for him. And I think that she isn't exactly who he thought he was marrying. You know, like, I do get that vibe in the book, honestly. Like, it is a little bit, like, and I think that that's why that means so much.
Yeah.
That he wouldn't want that for her, because he loves his wife, but I don't think he respects his wife that much.
Fair. Well,
you know, but
all
again,
the more reason to love this adaptation.
Absolutely. My viewpoint of this is 100% colored by the fact that I've read this book 850 times.
I have only read it. I think I've only read it twice, and I haven't read it. I don't, it's been 10 or 15 years, I think, since I read it the last time.
I not only read it last year, but I typed it. I typed out the entire book. So they're
doing one of those like typing training things.
Yeah, there's typing trainings you could do online. There's one that you can go to where you can type like public domain novels. And I've typed Pride and Prejudice and I typed Dracula last year, both.
Nice.
And it's a great way to read it. I'm doing 1984 right now.
Okay, the end of this thing I think is so perfect. We get the wedding scene, which
you
know was coming. But the matching wedding outfits, first of all. But the thing that makes the wedding so perfect is the fact that we've got that bad-hatted bitch on the front row looking so sad as these four get married, and she is left out completely.
So disappointed. Not only did your brother marry beneath his station, but the man you wanted to marry is marrying a woman you do not like very much.
You hate. I mean, literally, She can't stand Elizabeth. Yeah, it's fucking perfect. I adore it. Pride and Prejudice, y'all. It's real good. Go watch the version you like. Go watch this version, whether you like it or not, because it's real
good. Or read it if you haven't read it in a while.
Go read it. Genuinely.
You can find
it
free. You can find it free. Wittenberg at the. It's public domain, so.
Fellas, I'm telling you, there's 3 steps. You want to look better on dates, buy a copy of Pride and Prejudice, read that copy of Pride and Prejudice, then put it up on your shelf. If you just do 1 and 3, then they're going to ask you about it, and you're going to look like a Mr. Collins, not an evolved,
not the Mr.
final
Darcy
version
we're all
Mr.
looking
Darcy.
For. The final evolution of Mr. Darcy, which is what, my God, we all. The great thing, too, is also hilarious that Colin Firth basically plays a modernized version of this character in Bridget Jones's Diary. And
I was going to say, that was my understanding,
book, It's so funny. In that book, she actually taught... The funniest thing about Colin Firth being cast in that role is in that book, she talks about Mr. Darcy all the fucking time. And it's so... like, when they cast him, I was like, that's the most brilliant thing they could have possibly done.
All right. That is our discussion of Pride and Prejudice. Next week, Articulate Coven goes full rock star, folks. It's the Vampire Lestat. He has arrived, and Ashley will have already seen him in person.
This time next week, I may have gotten close enough to Sam to smell him.
Covered in a little sweat. Oh, my God. I can't even imagine. Oh, my God. I'm so excited.
It's unbelievable. I'm freaking out. Y'all.
Patron members, don't forget, if you want to join us, you can go to articulatecoven.com/join. But if you're already a member, you're going to get Afterlife. We're going to talk about Castle Rock Season 2, Episode 6, coming up in just a few minutes. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, oh, indeed, mother. We got daddy issues and mama issues all over. Until the next time we talk to you, we have been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.